Hello and welcome, everybody. This is your host, Foster. Today's a good day to see the unseeable, know the unknowable, and do the impossible, wouldn't you say? Well, some of you are not in a place to be in that space, right? You're in a place of maybe lack or limitation or fear or worry, or maybe you're a little stressed out. Wow. I know I've been there. I've visited those places many times in my mind, and I've made choices over the years to really let go of that type of thinking. This is an abundant universe that we live in, right? There's, what is it, 100 million or 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and there's 100 billion Milky Way galaxies, something like that. That's just there. How many grains of sand are in this planet? How many trees? How much beauty is here? How much money is here? There's no shortage of money anywhere, right? There's trillions and trillions of dollars of money floating around on the planet. There's only a shortage of abundant thinking, courage, and focus. That's it. We got to tune into that abundance, right? We start looking for abundance everywhere. And when we do, we get out of scarcity thinking, right? If you're in fear and worry, wow, usually the cause of fear is the feeling that you're not going to get what you want, or you're going to lose what you have, okay? So if you're in that space, then you're not in this other space where we come from a place of gratitude, a place of abundance, a place of knowing that everything will work out, a place from hope, a place from faith, a place from power, right? That's what we're going to be talking about today. I have a really special guest today. He's built a real estate empire. He's going to be talking about how to move out of scarcity thinking. He's got a new book out, and I can hardly wait to interview him. It's going to be a great show today. So stay tuned. If you need a little uplift, a little inspiration, this is the show that's going to give it to you. We'll be right back after a commercial.
Are you lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation? You sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs. Increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ken Foster. I'm here with my very special guest, Fred Wilson. Fred, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
For those of you that don't know Fred, he's been in the real estate industry for over 40 years. He co-founded a brokerage and escrow firm, and he is a celebrated mentor in that industry. He enriches agents through his courses, books, audio program, and he emphasizes human connections and personal growth. His guidance inspires people to achieve at their full potential, which is why I invited you here, Fred. I saw your bio and went, you've done a whole bunch of amazing things in your life. That's so cool. But I bet it didn't start out that way. How did you start out? What's your story?
Well, if I can give an abridged version, because I love to, talk. But I started out as a young tennis player, thinking that I could make it on the tour as a professional. So right out of high school, I headed off internationally and got my fanny waxed from Copenhagen to La Coruña, Spain, and back again. And after a couple of years, my dad pulled the plug, and I found myself deciding what to do with my life at about 20 years old, 2021, and got into the, I would call it entrepreneurial side of the tennis world. I franchised tennis schools across Europe, and I developed a luxury tennis travel company and had the life of Riley for 10 years. Met my wife. She traveled with me the first year, then the next year pregnant, then the next year with one babe in arms. And then the next year we had Irish twins 1 year apart with two babies, and we knew we couldn't be on the road anymore. And so I went into real estate because the club champion where I had one of my tennis schools who was in real estate said, "Gee, you'd be great in real estate," saying, "Oh, wow, okay." So we got our license, my wife and I, at the same time in the summer of 90. And in the fall of 90, hung it at a little brokerage and started trying to sell real estate. I didn't know anything about it. Had come from a completely different world. And so I had to learn on the job and learn from trial and error. And there were travails and challenges and overcoming failure and obstacles along the way.
Wow. Well, you've had a lot of success, but I bet you've had, like me, I've had a lot of failures in my life, which have taught me so much. I don't think everybody needs to learn from failure, but I know I sure do. And I'm just wondering what's maybe one of your biggest challenges that you've had that you've overcome, and how did that help tune you? Well, I'll just stop there. What was one of those?
Well, a couple of things come to mind, and not to be sparing on one in particular. I first had to learn to develop one of what I feel is our potential superpowers as human beings, and that is a relationship with my why. I had to get really clear about what it was I wanted and why I wanted it, and understand that the power is contextual. In other words, it's relative to what your options are. And so if you're not top of mind with the thing that's most important to you, you'll likely drift. You'll likely do other things as they pull you in different directions. But if that thing that you want is your top priority and top of mind, you will overcome the many obstacles that face you. I often quote a phrase from Tony Robbins, who said, "Nothing great was ever achieved without great effort." And then I added to that statement, that nothing great was ever achieved without great effort. I added, and no great effort was ever sustained without great passion. So learning how to harness my passion is my answer.
I love that. Yeah, I think the way I stated is, and I like what you just said. I would say that another plus would be with commitment, right?
Mhm.
Providence will move, but providence will, meaning the people, places, and things you need to grow yourself, to step into accomplishing that commitment, will show up, and of course, challenges will too. And
Yeah.
that's how
Well,
we grow.
one of the quotes that I'm often quoted on is that a dream is a wish desired, a goal is a dream with a deadline, and commitment is a goal with action. Commitment isn't stated, it's demonstrated.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to do as a coach to assess the level of one of my clients' commitment is look at what they're actually doing, not what they're saying.
I love it. Well, I look around the world today, Fred, and I see a lot of lack. I see scarcity thinking. I see people that are stuck and people that just haven't realized that this is an abundant universe. How do you get people unstuck? When they're in their scarcity mindset, what happens there?
I have a particular program that I've created, a particular model and approach that I teach for people. It turns out that an opportunity orientation, what I call opportunative thinking, is one of my niches, so to speak, that has been a real game changer for me in my life over the years in terms of accessing opportunity. You see, the thing is, society teaches people that opportunity is a good thing and that more is better. But then at the same time, we're culturally trained that opportunity is rare, fleeting, not always available, hard to hang on to, and you better get it before someone else does or before you lose your chance. And that's pure scarcity thinking. And so I teach people how to get out of a scarcity mindset and into a better tune in with the phenomena of opportunity, because that's what opportunity is. It's a field of energy, and it's always available. It's latent, meaning it's unmanifested but there. And I teach them how to tune into that more effectively and how to tap into it more often. And when you do that, wow is what starts to happen in your life.
Yeah. Nicholas Tesla was quoted, I'll paraphrase it, what he said. He said, if you want to understand the universe, you need to understand energy, frequency, and vibration. And what you just said about energy is taps right into that, because there is a vibration and energy around lack and limitation, and it seems to attract more of the same. In fact, any focus that we have seems to attract more of the same. Would you agree with that, or how do you work with people that have low vibrational energy?
Well, I would agree with it. When I was 18-year-old and I headed off on tour, the tennis tour, my dad handed me a cassette. Remember cassettes?
Oh yeah.
From Earl Nightingale. And it was called The Strangest Secret. And I listened to that 100 times, probably. And once I did a study trying to ascertain from where he got that piece of advice. And the strangest secret is that you become what you think about. And, I followed that back all the way to Aristotle. And in fact, the last year I got to what I think is the earliest known recorded version of it, which comes from the most ancient recorded language called Aramaic, in which abracadabra comes from and means that you are becoming what you're speaking. And so this knowledge goes down through the ages. There's really nothing new under the sun, right? It's all in how we interpret it and articulate it and assimilate it into our own lives. And so this idea of scarcity is a self-imposed success limiter. It does not have to be that way. And in fact, the way the world is set up, it isn't that way. And I tend not to talk so much about the universe, not because I don't agree with everything you said. It's hard, I think, sometimes for people to get their arms around the vastness of the universe. So I stick to the earth here generally and talk in terms of all the abundance that's here. You talked about all the trillions of dollars that's available, all the sand, which is a metaphor for everything, all the other things. And I like people to start thinking in terms of not 1 in a million, but 1 in a billion. Each individual human being is 1 in a billion, 1 in billions, and a tiny little piece in the universe, a speck, an unmeasurable amount of energy that is totally rare and significant and incredible. And so I want each person to come from that perspective. And not everybody treats themselves to that sort of outlook with themselves, but each and every one of us is incredibly designed for great things to happen. So the question is, do we turn that God-given capacity that we're born with into actual ability, which is what I think you've been talking about.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I got to take a break. When we come back, I want to tap into, a lot of people are into the future, very, very much into their goals, their visions of what they want to do in the future. I'm not sure that's the best place for people to be. So we're going to be talking about that when we get back right after the break.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Hi everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'll get right back to my guest, Fred Wilson, in just a second. I want to reach out to those that are watchers that we have such a beautiful following right now all over the world, 185 countries we're in. You know, we're on 29 television networks now. We're growing AM, FM across the country too, so you can tune into us just about everywhere. I have a request though. If you're enjoying these shows, I really encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that you don't miss any shows. If you want to see some of the back shows, you can also go to voicesofcourage.us, voicesofcourage.us to get all our shows. So pass it on to somebody you love. These shows are inspiring, uplifting, and filled with a lot of wisdom. All right, back to my guest. All right, Fred, you know, I was talking about before we went to break there about how people a lot of times almost future pace themselves. They're in the future all the time. And, you know, I personally have found people that are in the future a lot seem to be stressed out a lot because they're, you know, worrying about the future. How do we bring it back into the reality and get people to move forward with what they need to move forward with?
Well, you know, I talk with people in terms of the realities of life, which are few, really. One is that time is limited. Another is that bandwidth is limited. And another is that we're in the present, not the future or the past. And a future orientation is a success limiter in some ways when a person is obsessive about the future and you know, trying to analyze and somehow control the future or divine the future, rather than working within the present in a high functioning manner. One of my favorite life quotes comes from John Wooden, who I once heard say, "The best things in life happen to the people who make the best of the things that happen." And so it's not about what will happen, it's about what you're doing with what is happening. And so my coaching and my practice is based on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that. And by the way, you have a book out there. I did want to talk about that for a second. The name of the book is coming on screen here. It's The Real Estate Attraction by Fred Wilson. Congratulations on the new book. That's just awesome to get a new book out. Fred, why did you write the book, and what are the benefits to my audience?
It's the second of two books, the first one being The Third Law of Success, which is exclusively about the true nature of opportunity in life. This book is dedicated to people in sales, particularly real estate sales, but mortgage brokers, insurance brokers, all kinds of people in sales would have an interest in the topics in this book. And it's 5 or 6 parts to the book. And the opening part is about opportunity and how opportunity actually works. It turns out that the question isn't if there's opportunity for you here today. The question is, do you recognize it? In other words, lack of opportunity is on you. It's all about you, not about the opportunity, and how you're perceiving what's going on and interpreting what's going on and opening up to what's going on and doing a few key little techniques that help you to tap into opportunity more often and more regularly.
I love that. NASA did a study a few years back they studied their scientists and engineers to see how their creative thinking worked and how how their minds are working. And I don't know if you know this study, but that study was so successful of understanding the engineers and scientists of how they were working with the creative forces within them, that they took it to children, and they found that 1-year-old children tested on this scale that they put together. 98% of them were genius. By the time they got to 5 years old, they followed the same group. Only 30% were tapping in as a creative genius, and by the time you measure adults, we're about 2%. So it seems like we're being dumbed down as we go. And what you're talking about is opening that creativity back up. And how do you do that, by the way? How do you get people to get their creativity going again?
Well, first, I try and do what I'll call an adjustment, a paradigm shift with them in terms of how they look at opportunity. You see, the trick is often to focus on what's possible, not what's impossible. And again, I love the saying, do the impossible. Absolutely great sentiment, and I love it. But at the end of the day, the saying anything's possible is a tried and true ism that we hear all the time. But when you really do analyze it and you look at it, it's actually not true. Anything isn't possible. We can't end up on one of those planets circling one of those stars in one of those other galaxies with a click of a finger. And, there we are. And I'm not going to rule out someday here, but all I'm saying is there's a way to look at it that I think is more constructive. Rather than anything is possible, I teach people to say amazing is possible, because amazing is possible, and that is true. And amazing happens when you start identifying opportunity that you otherwise would be missing, and you make it your regular practice on a daily basis. That is life-changing. And so I teach people how to look at the phenomena of opportunity for what it actually is, a latent, unmanifested field of energy that's there for you based on how the world is set up. Because the world basically is set up based on change happening. I call it the paradox of life. Change is the one constant in our lives. And we tend to be inured to it. We tend to kind of tune that out a lot. But even when you blink your eye, you're changing things that ultimately lead to change in your nervous system. It's incredible what's going on. If you look at a room that's empty and suddenly a sunbeam comes through the window and it enlivens visually all the dust motes floating around in the air, you realize there's a lot more going on here than we think. And so the idea is to embrace that and to learn how to tune into it more often. And so I teach people to not only adjust the way they're thinking about opportunity, but then a couple of key skills, one of which is called the question of opportunity, which is no matter the situation, the circumstance, or the scenario that you encounter, could be vexing, confusing, frustrating, unknown, seemingly impossible, problematic, crisis, whatever it is, ask the question, where's the opportunity in this? And start redefining what's happening from the angle of benefit rather than the angle of demise and lack. And as you build that muscle, you start to realize that the act of asking the question is in and of itself an opportunity. And you build on this. And pretty soon it starts to affect the things in your life in ways that help you to get more of what it is you want, so that you don't have to settle for whatever it is you just seem to get all the time. And it's upgraded my marriage, my parenting, my business, my relationships, my health. It's been incredible.
I love that. Listen, I'm going to have to take a break in a second. I'll make a comment before we do. One of the things I teach my clients are to go out and do something for 7 days that you've never done before. Another exercise we can do is find 7 things, one a day, that you can improve upon. Why do I do that? Because I want them to open up their minds. I want them to go into areas that they've never seen before. Is like, go out and go taste a food you've never had before in your entire life. Go do something you've never done. That helps us to get to where Fred wants to go. And, Fred, I put on the screen here the name of the book, but I have a listening audience, so I want to tell them where to get it. It's realestateattraction.com/book. realestateattraction.com/book. I hope you check it out there. It's also on Amazon. I checked that out this morning. So, all right, we come back. I want to really take a deep dive into how to go into this abundant mindset. We hear a lot about it, but a lot of people don't know the steps to really do that. So we're going to do that when we get back here in just a second here. All righty.
Here. Did you know that I wear hearing aids? I love my hearing aids, and I am here to help you get a deal on the same brand I wear.
Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get MD Hearing's revolutionary Neo hearing aids for just $297 a pair. The Neo is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier, with rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. And you can get 2 Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $297. The Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call now and get not 1 but 2 Neo hearing aids for just $297.
800-789-7885. Again, that's 800-789-7885.
Are you ready to take charge of your health and well-being? UK Health Radio is your ultimate digital destination for cutting-edge health information and inspiration. At UK Health Radio, we know that good health is not merely the absence of disease, but a state of complete physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Tune in to our wide range of expert-led shows where renowned health professionals share about the latest research, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will motivate you to live your healthiest life. Don't settle for anything less than vibrant health. Tune in to ukhealthradio.com, the world's #1 talk health radio and podcast platform.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, I'm here with Fred Wilson. He created an empire around real estate. He's helped so many real estate agents create their own little empires and really become successful in real estate. And but he's a lot more than just real estate. We're really talking mindset here. And today, the mindset that I like to focus on is this, quote, abundant mindset. First of all, how do you define that? What is that?
Well, again, there are a lot of different ways to view life and the happenings going on around us. And most people believe in abundance philosophically. If I ask a room of 100 people who haven't heard me talk before, who here believes in abundance? Almost every hand shoots up. And then when I say, how many of you believe there's opportunity for you coming in the future? All the hands go up. And when I say, how many think of opportunity coming like this month? Pretty much all the hands go up. And then I say, how about this week? Half or more of the hands go up. How about today? And a few of the hands go up. And I say, how about right here in the room, right now? Is there opportunity for you? And one or two hands go up. And I ask them why. And they say, well, I just thought I should be contrary, or I wanted to see what you would say. Because people believe that opportunity isn't here now. They think it's out there later. And it's actually the opposite. Opportunity is never in the future, frankly, because you're never actually in the future. You're only ever actually here now, and you can only ever actually tap into opportunity in the present moment. One of my sayings is opportunity is everywhere, but only in the present. And so people have to first shift their way of thinking about what opportunity is and where it is, and then learn how to access it more often.
I think of how many clients I've met over the years with the opportunity in the moment, where I've had the courage to reach out to somebody and just notice maybe where their energy state is, or just say hi, or, I always have this intention to put a smile on people's face when I meet them. And by that, just that slight little mindset of really being there to serve people, opportunities are there all over the place all the time. Right.
Yes.
And in fact, I'll say one other thing. My wife and I had, when we first got married, we started using an affirmation. And the affirmation was, and there's more, and there's more. So we're focusing our mind on there's more. Honestly, after about 3 years, we had to stop saying that affirmation. Just so much was coming in. It was amazing. And, we don't necessarily need all that stuff today. But when we started out, we did. So it is a mindset, isn't it? It's like where we use this mind.
It is. It's a way of looking at life. And most people don't separate the difference between the philosophical belief in abundance and the practical use and interpretation of abundance. And so I focus on the difference when working with people. And like you, I have certain affirmations and mnemonic devices set up around in my life. One is this cuff that I had made by a silversmith in Pittsburgh. And it says, opportunity is everywhere. And I take this off at night and remind myself of that fact. And I put it on in the morning and I remind myself of that fact. And throughout the day, when it clinks around, I remind myself of the fact that opportunity is always there. It's everywhere. The question is, am I going to see it? And so I get busy starting to see it. And, the coaching world is filled with this one paradigm, Ken, which is be positive, don't be negative. And I totally agree with that. It is vital. And the offshoots of positivity, which would include things like, optimism, positive thinking, et cetera, et cetera. So I totally agree with it. But I've found that there's another equation, just like be positive, don't be negative. You have to learn to be opportunative, not scarcitive. My words for this opportunity orientation you can develop and open up to versus the scarcity thinking that's so prevalent in people's actual day-to-day practice. And I tell people that whereas negativity takes you out of the game and positivity keeps you in the game, scarcity limits your game, opportunity expands your game. And that's what we're after. We want expansion. We want growth. We want access. And an opportunity orientation provides that.
It really does. And, I think there's one of the things that I've taught my clients over the years is every day, look at what worked in their life, what doesn't work, and where's the opportunity tomorrow, right? Where can I improve tomorrow, right?
Yes.
But, I think a lot of times the opportunity is in what's not working. So if you got something that's not working right, I mean, whether it's a door handle and you go, you know what, I can't believe these door handles do this. I think I'll invent a new door handle, right? Or whether it's in a personal life, there is opportunity there. And I think that's what Fred is talking about. So if you want to, I'm going to take another quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about generating income something real and practical, once we start to open our minds to more opportunities, man, that could be a problem for some people, because their mind goes all over here, there, and they come up with all these opportunities. But let's talk about how you take those opportunities and focus it on practical wealth. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about it.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the deluxe bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Hi everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host, kendfoster. I'm talking with Fred Wilson, 40 years experience in real estate, co-founder of a brokerage and escrow firm, and he's a celebrated mentor in that industry and in his, I'm sure, in your relationships around your family and whatnot. Fred, all right, so we have all these opportunities. How do we get them into a practical ABC? How do I generate money? What's your formula?
Well, you know, the first thing I did, in fact, allude to this at the start of our discussion is to be clear about what it is you want. You see, attraction in life is not based on willpower, and it's not just based on understanding, but rather on clarity. In other words, the clearer you are about what it is that's most important to you, the more likely that is to come into your life. And the more likely you're to do things and recognize things that come to bear on making that happen. So the first thing you got to do is you got to be clear about why you're trying to make that money, what it's going to do for you, what the money's going to do for you. I know many, many real estate agents who wander through their career, never really establishing a baseline for what it is they want, why it is they want it, and what they're willing to do to make that happen. So that's the very first thing that has to happen. The second thing would be this understanding about the true nature of opportunity, that in fact, limitation is not the norm. It is in fact the opposite of the norm. The norm is abundance, but we're not aware of it. We're not tuned into it. We're not taking advantage of it. So you then, once you've made that paradigm shift in terms of your thinking, you then learn basic skills to increase the level of your opportunity orientation and therefore access to opportunity. One would be asking the question of opportunity, which I spoke about earlier. Another would be learning what I call the 12 tenets of opportunity. These are basic principles that observe how opportunity works. And it's one of the courses that I teach. And it's all about realizing that opportunity, although not always obvious, is always available. And the question again isn't if it's available, it's do you recognize it? So working on this theme, this shift mentally, and then these skills like asking the question of opportunity, the mnemonic device of maybe a sticky note on your dashboard or your mirror, or a bracelet on your arm, or a rubber band, or trying new things, spontaneous creativity. These are all things that are linked to the discovery of new benefit in life. And that's what an opportunity is. An opportunity is a possibility that's of benefit to you in some way, shape, or form, as defined by you. So it's all on you. And if you're not getting the amount of opportunity and success you want in life, that's on you. And I'm not saying it's your fault. I don't want to be negative here, but it's all about you and how you're looking at things and what you're doing to work within the structure that is provided to us in life, which is ever abundant opportunity, more opportunities than we can ever tap or recognize. Our problem is not lack of opportunity. Our problem is lack of access to opportunity. And that's a skill thing.
I love that. And I'd like to bring in one more element of defining or generating wealth, which is, I'll tell a story. Yeah, my very close friend of mine asked me one day, she says, who am I? And I thought, well, I'm a realtor. I'm a stockbroker. I'm a father. I'm all these things. And she said, no, Ken, why don't you go look in the mirror and really ask yourself, who am I? And it took me a while when somebody asked me. I mean, it took me maybe a year of doing that, honestly, to start to get that I'm not my house, I'm not my car, I'm not this quote father, I'm all these things. They're roles I play, but they're not me. And they're things I have, but they're not me. And I think that this is a key element for us to understand who we are. Now, part of that is understanding our strengths, our weaknesses, what our experience has been, where we're growing, evolving, and learning. I think that's a big piece. I know Fred, taps into that. But I have to say that if we don't know who we are, a lot of times we show up with opportunity, and now there's a self-esteem issue because we think we're less than somebody else or have less than this person or that person, or the ego shows up. No, now I'm more than everybody. So there's a disconnect. What's your hit on that?
I think it's true. I did that exercise myself. In my family, we call it my hermitage because I went to school in France and I speak French, and that's a French word. But the point is, it turned out about 3 weeks every morning after we got the kids off to school, instead of going to work, going back into the bedroom to sleep until I woke up naturally. Then I would meditate because I'm a longtime meditator. And then I would sit with a piece of paper at a table and a pencil, and I would wait until an idea came across my mind, and I'd write it down. And I wanted to try and identify who I was, what was I wanted, and why. And it took me several weeks. And I remember at that time in my real estate industry, it was the mid-90s, I had about 30 escrows open, and I told my staff I wouldn't be coming in until I solved this dilemma in my life. And they said, what do we do? And I said, just close the escrows, So they did. And I went off on this odyssey, this journey. And it's what led to the realization that I wanted to be a coach for the rest of my life, that I felt my mission was to help others be more successful in their lives. And that's when I started trying to create value that I could give to people that would help them do that. And it's been a process of, 25, 30 years. And here I am today, happily helping people around the world to achieve more of what it is they want, and tapping into opportunity more often is a big part of that.
Why is it the most successful people I have on this show consistently are meditators? I want my audience to ask that question. Answer that question. Oh man, it's so cool. All right, so I wanna take another quick break. We'll be right back. When we get back to here, though, this is part of knowing yourself. I wanna. There's a value piece that you just mentioned. The value piece that I think is important about creating wealth. So we'll be back, and we'll talk to Fred about that.
Lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation. You sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs. Increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the deluxe bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Hi everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here. Did you know that I wear hearing aids? I love my hearing aids, and I am here to help you get a deal on the same brand I wear.
Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get MD Hearing's revolutionary Neo hearing aids for just $297 a pair. The Neo is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. And you can get 2 Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $297. The Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call now and get not 1 but 2 Neo hearing aids for just $297.
800-789-7885. Again, that's 800-789-7885.
Are you ready to take charge of your health and well-being? UK Health Radio is your ultimate digital destination for cutting-edge health information and inspiration. At UK Health Radio, we know that good health is not merely the absence of disease, but a state of complete physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Tune in to our wide range of expert-led shows where renowned health professionals share about the latest research, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will motivate you to live your healthiest life. Don't settle for anything less than vibrant health. Tune in to ukhealthradio.com, the world's #1 talk health radio and podcast platform.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Kendi Foster. I'm speaking with Fred Wilson. And if you have not got his new book, I encourage you to get that new book. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the screen again. It's right there, Real Estate Attraction, Fred Wilson. You can definitely get that on his website, and you can also get it on Amazon. And again, we'll stream across the website there, realestateattraction.com/book, if you'd like to check that out. All right, listen, let's talk a little bit. We just got a couple minutes left here, Fred. The value piece. You know, if you know your purpose, you have your opportunities, you know yourself now. I guess the values are kind of knowing yourself too. How does that tie into everything?
Well, if we're talking about how to create wealth,
yeah,
what I tell people is what we essentially taught our 3 children who are now adults in their mid-30s, all of whom are already virtually financially independent. And the lesson that my wife and I taught them was to be the value add in life, to be that person who's a net producer, not a net consumer, to be the person who always brings more than they take, to be the person that adds something that multiplies into expanding value. And to think in those terms and to make that your objective when you're considering a move or giving advice or working towards your goals and objectives. So in short, be the value add.
Well, Fred, I'd like to thank you so much for being on the show with me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. And for all of you that are tuning into more wealth, more abundance, more understanding, more wisdom, you're really ready to take that life to the next level. You're looking for a quantum breakthrough in your business or a quantum breakthrough in your life. One of the things that I don't usually tell people is that you can also find me at kendfoster.com. If you'd like to have a session with me, we can talk about what's going on. I'd love to upshift you also and take your business and your life to the next level. So again, kendfoster.com. You can check me out there. And when I say I don't usually do that, I usually don't give myself a shout out on these shows. I don't know why, but I'm giving it today. So, I want to help you. And also, you want to definitely check out Fred Wilson and, check out his new book. He's got a lot of powerful information. He's got a lot of wisdom, as you heard and saw, as we went through the interview today. So appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Please pass this on to all of your friends, and just know that we are here to help you see the unseeable, know the unknowable, and do the impossible. Take care until our next show.